The perfect scene doesn't exist. Only the build-up does. Only the anticipation of it does. You say you want the perfect scene. No, you want the feeling that the perfect scene promises. Those are not the same thing. The mind quietly switches one for the other and hopes you won't notice. Look carefully. The kiss is not the attraction, the anticipation of the kisses. The success is not the attraction, the anticipation of successes. The revenge is not the attraction, the anticipation of revenges. The admiration is not the attraction, the anticipation of admiration is. The scene itself is almost irrelevant. The scene is merely the container. The anticipation is the drug. Why? Because anticipation allows you to remain incomplete, and the mind loves incompleteness. An incomplete person can dream, an incomplete person can chase, an incomplete person can postpone life until tomorrow. The mind survives on tomorrow. Reality only exists now. The mind prefers tomorrow. Look at what happens every time. You imagine the girl. Immediately there is energy. You imagine success. Immediately there is energy. You imagine proving someone wrong. Immediately there is energy. The energy arrived before the event. The event hasn't happened. The energy is coming from imagination itself. That should make you suspicious. You think, when I get there, I will feel complete. But where did that certainty come from? Evidence? No. Memory? No. Truth? No. It came from desire. Desire manufactures certainty. Otherwise, nobody would chase. The perfect scene is like a horizon. You can see it, you can walk toward it, you can dedicate your life to it, but you can never arrive at it. The closer you get, the further it moves. Not because life is cruel, because the scene was never real. It was a psychological projection. The mind's greatest trick is not creating the scene. Its greatest trick is making the scene appear meaningful. It says, this one is different. It said that about the last one, and the one before that, and the one before that. The moment you see this, something strange happens. You stop asking, how do I get the scene? You begin asking, why am I believing the promise? That question changes everything. Because now you are investigating the magician instead of staring at the magic trick. So, what does the perfect scene doesn't exist? Only the anticipation does actually mean. It means that what you call the perfect scene is never experienced. Only anticipation is experienced. Only imagination is experienced. Only longing is experienced. Only the promise is experienced. The scene itself remains forever in the future, forever polished, forever idealized, forever untouched by reality. And that is precisely why it appears perfect. The day reality touches it, it becomes ordinary. Just another moment, just another event, just another memory, and the mind immediately begins manufacturing the next perfect scene, the next horizon, the next promise, the next salvation, the next trailer. The theater never closes on its own. But once you see the projector behind the scene, the movie no longer looks quite so real. What you're calling the perfect scene is interesting because the nervous system is not actually chasing the scene. It looks like it's chasing the kiss, the success, the revenge, the luxury SUV, the admiration, the beautiful partner. But underneath, it is chasing a chemical prediction. The scene is just the costume. Imagine this sequence. Stage 1. A trigger appears. You see an attractive woman, or remember someone from the past, or imagine proving a relative wrong, or picture yourself becoming wealthy. The brain instantly activates old reward networks, not because the event is happening, because it has learned this might lead to pleasure. At this moment, dopamine begins rising. Most people think dopamine is pleasure. It isn't. Dopamine is anticipation. It is the feeling of something important is coming. Stage 2. The body starts leaning forward. Notice what happens. Your attention narrows. The present becomes less interesting. The future becomes more vivid. The body becomes slightly energized. The mind starts producing images. The scene gets sharper. You start directing the movie. This is where fantasy begins. Stage 3. The storyteller arrives. The nervous system creates activation. Then thought arrives afterward and explains it. You feel a chemical pull. Then thought says, this woman is special. Or, if I become successful, then they'll respect me. Or, if I get revenge, I'll finally feel complete. Or, if I marry the perfect girl, everything will make sense. The story is trying to justify the chemical movement. The body moved first, the narrative came second. This is crucial to see. The story feels like the cause. Often, it is the explanation. Stage 4. The perfect scene gets manufactured. Now the brain starts editing reality. It removes boredom, it removes awkwardness, it removes uncertainty, it removes disappointment, it removes complexity. It creates a movie trailer. Not a movie, a trailer. The perfect kiss, the perfect victory, the perfect success, the perfect moment when everyone finally understands your worth. Notice how these scenes are always frozen. They are snapshots. Life isn't a snapshot, life is a process. The brain keeps showing the snapshot because snapshots are easier to desire than reality. Stage 5. Time disappears. This is one of the dopamine's biggest tricks. The present becomes merely a bridge. You stop living here. You start living there. The mind says, not now, later, when I get it. The future becomes emotionally real. The present becomes emotionally empty. And suddenly your happiness has been outsourced to an imaginary event. Stage 6. The illusion of completion. Look carefully at every perfect scene. What is hidden inside it? Not sex, not money, not success, not revenge. Completion. The nervous system whispers, once this happens, the search will end. This is the deepest illusion because every previous perfect scene promised the same thing. Think about your life. How many scenes have already happened? A purchase, a compliment, a crush, a victory, a milestone. Did the search end? No. The mind immediately created another scene because it was never seeking the object, it was seeking the feeling of becoming complete. What actually happens if the scene occurs? Suppose the kiss happens, suppose the success happens, suppose the SUV arrives, suppose the relative feels jealous. For a brief period, dopamine drops, reward chemicals stabilize, the nervous system experiences relief. Not completion, relief. A tension that was building finally releases. The mind misinterprets relief as fulfillment. Then a few days later, a new scene appears. A bigger one, a brighter one, a more dramatic one, and the chase starts again. The deepest thing to see. The suffering is usually not in the scene, it is in the build-up. The fantasy creates tension. The tension creates seeking. The seeking creates incompleteness. The incompleteness makes the scene look valuable. It's a circular system. Fantasy creates the hunger, then fantasy claims to be the solution. So, the perfect scene is never desired because it is real. It is desired because, for a few moments, it promises an end to psychological tension. The mind says, there, that scene, that is freedom. But if you look at your entire life, every scene has pointed to another scene. The promise remains, the destination keeps moving. The movie changes, the mechanism stays the same. And seeing that mechanism clearly, not fighting it, not suppressing it, just seeing it, begins to dissolve some of the magic that the perfect scene seems to hold. Imagine there is a theater inside your mind. Not a real theater, a secret one. A theater that has only one job, to keep showing you the next perfect scene. You enter the theater, the lights go dark, a trailer begins. Not a movie, a trailer. You see yourself kissing the girl. The music swells. You feel alive. The trailer ends. Before reality can enter, another trailer starts. You become successful. People who ignored you now admire you. The relative who played status game sees your success. You win. The trailer ends. Another starts. A beautiful wife. A beautiful house. A luxury SUV. Everyone looking. Everyone approving, everyone finally understanding your worth. Again the trailer ends. Notice something strange. The theater never shows what happens after. It never shows Tuesday morning. It never shows boredom. It never shows dishes. It never shows arguments. It never shows the next desire. It only shows the peak frame, the highlight reel, the climax, the snapshot. Because if it showed the entire movie, the illusion would break. Now look deeper. That theater has a magician working behind the curtains. The magician is dopamine. He never gives you the thing. He gives you the anticipation of the thing. He whispers, almost, soon, just a little further. And every time he whispers, Your body responds, your heart leans forward, your attention narrows, your imagination brightens, the future becomes colorful, the present becomes dull. And because the body has changed, the mind invents a story. The mind says, this must be important. But the body was already moving before the story appeared. The story is merely explaining the pull. Now imagine a thirsty traveler in a desert. Far away, he sees shining water. He walks toward it. The water moves. He walks faster. The water moves again. Years pass. The traveler becomes convinced. The next oasis will complete me. But every oasis was a mirage. Not because water doesn't exist, but because the thing he was seeking was never actually in the image. The image was carrying a promise of completion. This is the key. The perfect scene is never about sex. It is never about the kiss. It is never about money. It is never about revenge. It is never about admiration. Those are costumes. The hidden message underneath every scene is, when this happens, your search will finally end. That is the real product being sold. Completion. But look at your own life. How many perfect scenes have already happened? A purchase, a compliment, a new friendship, a victory, a good day, a milestone. You went to US. For a moment there was a relief. Then another scene appeared. Why? Because the theater was never selling completion. It was selling anticipation. The moment one trailer ends, another trailer must begin. Otherwise the theater goes out of business. The deepest illusion is not the perfect scene. The deepest illusion is the build-up. Because the build-up feels meaningful. The build-up feels sacred. The build-up feels like movement towards salvation. But what is actually happening? A memory is activated. A chemical prediction is created. An image is generated. A story is attached. And suddenly a future event feels more real than the chair you are sitting on. The entire structure is built from thought, yet it feels solid. Here's the image I would leave you with. Imagine sitting in that theater one day. The trailer begins. The beautiful girl appears. The success appears. The revenge appears. The admiration appears. The luxury car appears. The perfect life appears. And then, for the first time, instead of entering the movie, you turn around. You look behind the screen. There is nothing there, just a projector, a beam of light, old memories, old conditioning, old reward circuits, projecting pictures onto an empty wall. The moment you see the projector, the movie loses some of its power. Not because the images disappear, but because you finally see what they are. Not prophecies, not destiny, not completion, just light on a wall. And no matter how beautiful the image becomes, no image projected onto a wall can ever complete the person watching it. The perfect scene doesn't exist. The perfect kiss, the perfect revenge, the perfect success, the perfect admiration, the perfect future where everything finally makes sense. None of these were ever real. What was real was the anticipation, the nervous system leaning into tomorrow, the imagination painting a future, the mind attracting a story to a chemical search and calling it destiny. For years, I wasn't chasing the scene. I was chasing the promise hidden inside the scene. Once this happens, I will be complete. But every scene dissolved into ordinary life. Every horizon became another horizon. Every promise gave birth to another promise. The search continued because the scene was never the source of the search. The belief was. And perhaps freedom is not found by reaching the perfect scene. Perhaps freedom begins the moment I see that there never was one. Just a projector, just anticipation, just a mind creating trailers and calling them salvation. The perfect scene doesn't exist. And in seeing that, something finally relaxes. Not because I got what I wanted, but because I stopped mistaking a mirage for water.